F1. It is the new race car movie. This is my non-spoiler review of said film. Joseph Kosinski is directing this one, who did Top Gun Maverick. Brad Pitt is the lead of the film, as well as Damson Idris, Javier Bardem, Kerry Condon, and others. This movie is exactly what I wanted it to be. I'm going to start out with that. Most people, including myself, when I walked out of the theater last night, the word I heard a lot, I know people are like, oh, that word's overused. And you're not wrong, but it still doesn't mean it's not relevant. And the word is fun. This is a fun film. And it feels, as I said in my out of the theater reaction, it feels like a very old school way of making movies in the same way that Top Gun Maverick did. I don't know if it's as layered as Top Gun Maverick, which I found was layered. This movie, there are some predictable things happening, but I enjoyed every bit of it, and I was on the edge of my seat. And what I mean by that is just kind of like, when I say predictable, it's kind of like, there's some formulaic stuff, but sometimes formulaic is the things that we want. When you're like, okay, well, I really hope this happens, and when it happens, you're like, good. I feel satisfied. That's kind of what I wanted to see happen. It feels nice. The story essentially is that Brad Pitt, who plays Sonny, is this never has been, could have been, race car driver who something happened to him in his past, and he never was able to get to the place that most and himself thought he would get to. When our story takes place, he is doing different circuits at other places and winning races, and he's really good, and he's got this mindset, and he's a rogue driver, and he's got his ways about doing things a la Maverick type. And Javier Bardem is an old friend, a former rival who is now owns this big, huge company. And they race in F1, but their team stinks. And they have a great prospect in a rookie, played by Damson Idris, but they just can't get a win. They need to, otherwise Javier Bardem is screwed. And that's the gist of really what you need to know about the story. Is Sonny come in to help? How does he work with the Rook? And the story with Kerry Condon and what she is doing, and her backstory of how she got there to basically engineer these cars and put together and making sure that things are working. And that they throw in the fact that she used to work at Lockheed Martin, and then she got into this crazy racing world and wants to prove some people wrong. And it's just like I said, it's a cast of characters put together, and you're like, okay, now I'm following what they're all trying to do, and now I got to be locked into the races. Am I? And the answer is yes. I was locked in all the races. And you got to see, as they're trying to struggle, are they going to be able to work together? Are they going to fall apart? Are there injuries? Are there recoveries? Are there comebacks? Are there losses? All this stuff. And it's everything you want from a race car movie. I've said this many times over. To me, I am, for some reason, it's not that I'm not I guess I would say it. I'm not a race car fan when it comes to watching them on TV. It's not because I'm like, it's terrible, I don't watch that. I just don't do it. I love race car movies. I don't know what it is. I'm engaged every single time that I watch them, from Rush to Ford versus Ferrari, Days of Thunder. The list goes on and on and on. This one is one of those movies that I'll be mentioning inside of it, even though the Gran Turismo that came out, which I thought was underrated. And this movie delivers and puts itself in that category of when I start the next race car movie that comes out, I'll be like, yeah, movies like F1 and everything too. And I think what Kosinski is able to do, he brings out the best in his stars. He did it with Tom Cruise and does it again with Brad Pitt. And Brad Pitt's the perfect person to play Sonny. He is. It's like it's a classic Brad Pitt character, right? He's just like, he's too cool for school. You want to hang out with a guy, but you just also don't know, is he going to just be in business for himself? Is he going to help some things out? Is he a good guy? He's pretty sure he's a good guy. And his relationship with Javier Bardem and what Javier Bardem was trying to do, because I didn't know where they were going to go with him, and I liked seeing this side of him. And this kind of the struggling business owner who has to believe in believes in his team, but is just trying to get that last one, the big one, and can it work out? So the music is done very well. The race scenes, though, is really, you're going to ask, how are they? And they're fantastic. Like the way that Kosinski kind of shoots these things and puts them and puts you in the seat of the car. There's even one shot that stood out as I was watching it, and Brad Pitt's racing, and his hand goes in front of the wheel like this, and he blocks the camera for like it's a couple seconds, but it was like it wasn't distracting at first. Like, I can't see his face. I felt like I was in the car with him. I felt like I was really in the car with him. There are a couple different shots when they're going around, and certain things, the things that he sees or other racers see when they're in the car, and you could see it kind of. You felt like you're in like a simulation, and you're watching it locked in, put into this world. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm absolutely in. I get how this works. I understand how this works, and I'm just locked in from start to finish. Damson Idris, star. He's a star. I wasn't as familiar with a lot of his stuff. I've just been hearing his name recently because he's rumored to be the guy who's playing, who's going to replace Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa in Black Panther. So, of course, I'm watching him going, has he got the goods? And within seconds of him, I'm like, oh, I see it. I get it. He hangs toe-to-toe with Brad Pitt the entire time as the kind of the hotshot rookie trying to get his respect, trying to make it work. And you're like, oh, okay. And then the other thing is chemistry, right? What's the chemistry like with Brad Pitt, Kerry Condon? And it is there. There's a scene that they have together at it's like a diner, and they're trying to understand one another, and Brad Pitt's kind of trying to get his way, and she's trying to show him like what the hell is up in her world and how they have to come together. There's a lot of really good scenes. And the other thing I was thinking about is, what about watchability? And watchability for me, like rewatchability, I should say. And rewatchability, it's there. And I'm like, halfway through it, I'm like, could I watch this movie again? I'm like, yeah, I would go back. If my wife hadn't seen it, if we were watching it on TV, so we'll be on Apple soon, and I started watching it, and she's like, oh, I wanted to see this. I'm like, oh, I don't mind, I didn't watch it from the beginning. Absolutely. I would do that with this movie. And I'll probably watch it again. That's exactly what I'll do. So I'll go pretty big, because this is like, for me, on a score, I'm going to go like, I'll go 4.4. 4.4? Hell, I'll give it 4.5. Why not? Out of 10. Now, when I score it that big, 4 out of 10, out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. When I score it that big, you're like, oh, is this like the greatest movie of the year? No, this is an enjoyability factor going to the movies for me. There's flaws to it. It's predictable at times. I understand that for sure. I'm ranking this more of an enjoyable thing for me, and like, I like going to the movies to see movies like this, if that makes sense. So yeah, like a 9 out of 10 for me is what I'm going to go for this movie, because this is the type of movies that I like to go to the movies for. There'll be movies out there that are maybe better quality, new stories, different ideas that will maybe rival this or beat this as far as, originality and things like that. But like I said, this is why I go to the movies, this type of movie. So put your thoughts in there. Do you want to see it? Do you want to check out F1? Thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. I have out of the theater reactions that I do. I did one for this. Like I said, this one for people when they ask, what's the difference between an out of the theater reaction and a review? I can't go into detail on a lot of the out of the theater reactions. I only have like 2 minutes to go into a couple of thoughts, like the same way you would in a social post. Reviews, I get to go a little bit more in depth. So reviews, out of the theater reactions, interviews, live shows. I'm doing a lot of stuff here, so I hope you'll join me on the channel. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye. I love True Classic. That's how I'm going to start this. I have fallen in love with them. I have so many new things, whether it comes to t-shirts, whether it is sweatpants, things I go to the gym for. I love it. I absolutely love them. At True Classic, the mission goes beyond fit and fabric. It's about helping guys show up with confidence and purpose. The gear fits right, it feels amazing, and it's priced so guys everywhere can step into confidence without stepping out of their budget. What really sets them apart, it's not just about the fit or the fabric, it's the intention behind everything that they do. True Classic was built to make an impact, whether it's helping men show up better in their daily lives, giving back to undeserved communities, or making people laugh with ads that don't take themselves too serious. They lead with purpose. So I have been loving True Classic. I got them. I've got a bunch of things that, again, like I said, shirts, pants, and I told my wife the other day, I said, I don't know if I want to go anywhere else right now. True Classic. I mean, I'm telling you, I went out to go out with some friends. I was wearing this is True Classic t-shirt. They fit really nice. They just they're comfortable. It's good material. I love it. And you don't have to worry about it. Just get rid of the overpriced designer brands. Ditch the disposable fast fashion. True Classic is built for comfort. It's built to last, and it's built to give back. You can grab them anywhere. Target, Costco. You can head to trueclassic.com/Christian. That's where you really should go, and get hooked up today. You will love it. I have been swearing by it. I'm telling you, this is me telling you straight up. I love this brand. I love True Classic.